Welcome to the Arison Group. We simplify business complexity. Reg, so beyond the strategy, advisory, accounting, HR solutions that we traditionally provide, a lot of clients are making inquiries in terms of local and international trusts. Can you elaborate what are the benefits of having a local or international trust and the services Arison provides in that regard?
So Arison Capital is a business that looks at, it's a deal-making business, transactional advice, but it also does both personal and corporate restructuring. And in the restructuring part of that, we look at local and offshore trusts. Now, why a local trust or why an offshore trust? They're fundamentally for different things. If you look at a local structure, there are two certainties in life, they say, and that's death and taxes. And unfortunately, in South Africa, death causes a lot of taxes. So we have a fairly high estate duty. And so if you look at how does one protect their legacy, how does one protect their wealth, and how does one create continuity for their families while reducing the burden of estate duty, a trust structure is the best vehicle to do it in. Now I say a trust structure, not necessarily a trust, because there are pros and cons with everything you do. Trusts are not the most tax efficient vehicles, but if you structure the estate depending on everybody's individual or the client's individual need, if you structure the estate correctly, you could get tax benefit while creating asset protection, wealth protection, legacy protection, and ultimately continuity. Because the trust would never die. The structure would never die. So it helps the patriarch or the matriarch to be able to continue what they envisaged for their family in perpetuity. So that's ultimately why it set up a local trust. An offshore trust is, there's a lot of uncertainty in the world. Not just in South Africa, but in the world. So people would like to look at how they can diversify their assets. How do I prevent all my eggs from being in one basket? Entrepreneurs predominantly will operate out of one country. We took a view to go global, and that's very out-the-box thinking as an entrepreneur. But entrepreneurs generally hone their skill and then they operate in one country. And I've seen a trend over the last couple of years where people are looking at diversifying. How do I get a second passport? How do I create wealth outside of South Africa? And so our Mauritius office sets up offshore structures where your wealth will be in part kept or will reside in Mauritius through the offshore structure. That structure is still very linked to the South African structure. The requisite taxes are paid, and with the DTA or the double tax agreement that we have between the two countries, it is tax efficient because of the tax agreement between the two countries. There is common reporting between the two countries. So the structure allows for timeous, accurate, and compliant reporting to the revenue authorities, but it also allows you to hold your money in another currency, in another jurisdiction, and to create wealth outside of the country, to build a revenue base or a base outside of the country. So that's predominantly that's the main reason we open offshore trusts, people looking at how to diversify their asset, and then there are people that are looking at getting a second passport or buying property outside of South Africa to create secondary income. But the predominant reason is to diversify their wealth.
Thank you for watching. Please follow us on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, or contact us by going to our website, www.arison.global.